And he comes up to my office. I said, come on in, what's going on? And he was pissed off that he didn't get a $50,000 bonus. Francis, you didn't get it because this, that. And he's in my office and he's arguing with me. The conversation's over. I'm starting to leave. And he grabs me by my shirt.
Fuck.
And like pushes me back in my office. And I said, dude, get your fucking hands off me.
You can forget about Francis Ngannou ever fighting in the UFC or ever fighting against John Jones. You can forget about that ever happening ever again. I did not know. This is the first time that Dana White has came out and said this. That Francis Ngannou put his hands on Hunter Campbell and Dana White. Literally grabbing him by the t-shirts. Come over here. And grabbing Dana White and trying to impose himself on him, my friends.
Then my guy Hunter they were talking about something. It might even have been the same thing. And when Hunter started to walk away, Francis grabbed him by the fucking back of his collar and fucking pulled him back. Said, we're not done talking yet.
Dana White has just come out and said this with the Andrew Schultz little podcast that they got going on. And my goodness, there was so much controversy leading up to the release of Francis Ngannou trying to set up a new contract. You know, he said that the money wasn't an issue. He was going to get paid more than any UFC fighter has ever got paid, a higher contract than any contract they had ever created in UFC history. Think about that. More than John Jones, okay? The GOAT of the goddamn UFC. He turns it down because he says he wants freedom. He says that he wants to be able to compete in boxing fights, have other sponsorships, and he believes that the UFC is just too strict, too many limitations. And because of that, Francis Ngannou did not re-sign with the UFC. And in my opinion, I don't know how that's turning out for him because he's only fought 3 times since 2022. Once against Tyson Fury, don't get me wrong, absolutely amazing performance, but his next fight against Anthony Joshua, where he got absolutely KO'd and put into another galaxy. And since then, his son has passed away, RIP. You know, hate to bring that up, but just every single thing that's adding up to him, right? His son passed away, and also he was involved in a murder where he was driving a motorcycle and accidentally hit a girl who was, I guess, walking by. I guess she popped out a little too fast. He didn't see her. He hit her, picked her up, tried to take her to the hospital. She died from her injuries. He fought in the PFL, what was it, against Renan Ferrer back in October of 2024. We're already past October. We're in November. He has not fought one time in the last year. And for what I know was, I remember Francis Ngannou talking about how him and the PFL actually aren't on good terms right now. The PFL set up events in Africa. He thought that these events were going to be all African fighters, showcasing the African talent in their own country. It turned out it wasn't. They had, different fighters. The main event didn't have an African in that. And because of that, Francis Ngannou and he had a different plan for that thing, and I completely understand it. The PFL, they didn't come to an agreement. So because of that, in my opinion, that's the reason why Francis Ngannou hasn't fought in a whole year. The company that he works for and has a contract with, he's having beef with, okay? Now, I don't know if he's grabbing people or what he's doing over there. But what Dana White just said, that there was times at the press conference between him and Stipe Miocic back in, 2018, where Stipe Miocic beat him in a 5-round decision fight. But in the pre-press conference, the last one that took place on Thursday, supposedly Francis Ngannou, as it ends, he's walking into the hallway, he grabs Dana White and forces him to get him a private jet right after the fight to wherever he wants to go, all right?
And to fight Stipe Miocic in Boston. He knows he's going to fucking kill Stipe. So after the press conference, we're walking down this hallway and he comes over to me and he grabs me. And he says, let me tell you what's going to happen. His English is fucking great, okay? No language barrier whatsoever. When this fight's over, you're going to book me a private plane to Paris. And I said, I laughed and said, oh yeah, he goes, I'm not joking.
And it says that there was another altercation where Hunter Campbell was walking away. Francis Ngannou grabs him by the collar and pulls him back. And pulls him back.
Then my guy Hunter they were talking about something. It might even have been the same thing. And when Hunter started to walk away, Francis grabbed him by the fucking back of his collar and fucking pulled him back. Said, "We're not done talking yet."
He's saying that Francis Ngannou is not a good guy. Now, I've actually heard a lot of people say this, but they were just rumors. Every single time Francis Ngannou finds himself on the mic or in front of cameras, he acts like a really good guy, right? I don't know what's really going on here, because this is the first time that I have ever heard this from Dana White. And there's been many press conferences asked on the release of Francis Ngannou if they never brought this up before. It's always been, nah, he thinks he could go make money somewhere else. Go let him. You know, he doesn't really re-sign with us. It is what it is. He never brought up that Francis Ngannou was abusing these dudes, right? Bullying them, grabbing Dana White by the shirt. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous, bro. Imagine Francis Ngannou grabbing, yo, man. That's absolutely breaking news. And that's why I say Francis Ngannou will never be back in the UFC. All right? Never. I can't believe Dana White has came out and said this. I can't wait to see what Francis Ngannou has to say for himself. Like I said, a lot of bad luck in the last couple of years, and I don't really see nothing clearing up. I thought a possible return to the UFC maybe would happen in the next 2 years if he behaved and he apologized to Dana White and he told him, look, man, look at my life, look at the way everything's going, just give me a second chance. Not anymore, my friends. Wow, I cannot believe that we just heard that. And damn, man, breaking